we might have had a lot of gestures, but people are saying we want to see. I think people very much see that the royal family should be dealing with this and be seen to be dealing with this.
The government is considering bringing in legislation to remove Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor from the line of succession after Buckingham Palace indicated their support for the move. Calls for his removal have intensified following his arrest on Thursday on allegations of misconduct in public office. So what would it take to oust a potential future king from the succession? Daniel Brittain is a parliamentary historian and UK constitutional expert. And Daniel, one of the joys and nightmares of our constitutional is that it's largely, not wholly, but largely unwritten. And so there's lots of room for interpretation. And frankly, it can all end up being very messy. Is this one of those where we might open a can of worms and it'll be a mess?
Well, that's certainly Guto, what the palace always worries about, that any law that is passed will provide parliamentarians with an opportunity to bring in all sorts of subjects which they don't particularly want discussed. Perhaps top of those is financial transparency. That's what really worries them, and other probes put in by MPs particularly during the course of a bill. But if a bill does come, I expect it to be very short, very tightly drawn, so it won't leave much scope for amendments. Looking back, the 1936 Act, His Majesty's Declaration of Abdication Act, was a very short bill, all done in a day, and the King signed it into law and at the same point removed himself as King at 1:52 p.m. It doesn't take too long to put through such a bill through Parliament. And wouldn't it be dramatic if this was a bill that was announced in the next King's speech, in the speech from the throne at the start of the next session of Parliament, probably in May?
Yes, it would be dramatic, wouldn't it? And be, the head of the household actually removing his own brother, which has been very painful, wherever else you are on all this, to watch in terms of family dynamics. But the king, in the case you mentioned back in 1936, nearly a century ago, was happy to walk away. It's slightly different now, is it not?
Well, is it? I mean, it's not impossible, is it, that actually Andrew could voluntarily give up his right to succession? I don't think anyone's asked about that, but it might be possible, and that would remove that particular problem. But I think there are actually three things that need tidying up. One is the succession. The second one is that Andrew is still eligible to be a Councillor of State, one of those people who stands in for the king when he is either ill or abroad. And the third thing, and this is the one that rarely comes as a surprise to people, he is still the Duke of York. People think, oh no, that's all been given up. He lost that title, etc., etc. And indeed, he was told not to use it, along with the HRH, and he's been removed from the role of the peerage, but he is still the Duke of York because there has been no act of Parliament depriving him of that dukedom.
So could you put it all in one neat, tightly drawn package and sort out all three of those things?
I'm sure that must be the idea, Guto, if it comes to legislation. The 1936 Act did three things. One, the king abdicated. Two, he and his successors, now he didn't have any successors, he didn't have any children, but his successors were barred from inheriting the throne, removed them from the right of succession, and this may be relevant, he was also absolved of the Royal Marriages Act, meaning that he could go on to marry whoever he wanted, and that, of course, then was Wallis Simpson. And I suppose it's not impossible that Andrew could marry again. He wouldn't now need the permission of the king to marry.
You mentioned offspring there. If Andrew is taken out of the succession where he's currently number 8, my understanding is that his daughters then step up 1 point each. Is that what happens?
Yes, they would. I mean, at the present, the right of succession is after the king, the Prince of Wales, and then his 3 children in order of age. And remember now that a girl is just as eligible as a boy to succeed to the throne. So after Charles, it is then Prince William, and then Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and then Prince Louis. It goes on to him. Then it would be coming up to Andrew and his two daughters. It's a long, 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 long way down for poor Princess Anne, who's a very, very long way down the list. But you do slowly work through. If Andrew is removed from the succession, well, it'll be interesting. Will he be removed, or will his daughters also be removed from the line of succession?
Thank you very much for taking us through that. The one last one, I keep thinking, in view of how far removed Andrew already is from actually realistically becoming the king, is all of this really, symbolic though it is it not utterly futile and indeed a sort of waste of parliamentary time? Even if it can be done in a day, it's opening up a can of worms. Isn't it essentially a futile gesture?
No, I don't think so, because I think the people are looking for action. We might have had a lot of gestures, but people are saying we want to see. I think people very much see that the royal family should be dealing with this and be seen to be dealing with this. So I think it will suit the palace and the government to have a piece of legislation. It will tidy things up, it will sort it, and probably, with luck, get rid of the problem.
Daniel, thank you very much for joining us to explain that. The parliamentary historian, Daniel Brittain.